Hey, Dana here. And welcome to my projects. This is the last video. This is number 8 in the series of replacing the carpet in our living room. Well, I'm going to make this as actually number 1, okay? Because it kind of cuts down on stuff if you're not interested in going through the whole thing here. But the next video from this one, you will see it's the starting of what we started and then carrying on. So this has been about an 8-day evolution for me. Average of 2 days and then couple days. I did a good 8 hours. Okay, so things that I learned from this evolution, we put down what's called the floating floor. Floating floor, and those are sheets of veneer with you put foam underneath it, or they come with foam. Now, when you go to the store, or you go to Lowe's or one of the bargain outlets, which is where we got our carpet or linoleum, you're going to have all kinds of prices, and you're going to have different square footage per box. And ours wound up with they're actually 4 feet by 8 inches wide, and it covers like 21 square feet per box. Okay, and we had 234 square feet, and it wound up taking 99 sheets. Okay, and we chose to get the cheapest that we could, and it wound up being 68 cents a square foot. Well, you definitely get what you pay for. And when you're getting these sheets, the flooring, okay, you're going to have different thicknesses. And this is 7 millimeter. Next one's upper 8. All right, and basically, as you can see, it's kind of pressed, broken up. It's pressed cardboard, okay, and then with the vinyl on top of it. And these have locking, as you can see. They got locking crevices. This has got the wide side, and then on the other side, it's shorter, and it's got this dovetail kind of setup. Okay, and you're gonna slide them together, and then they're gonna lock. Well, you got to make sure that you hammer them together and get them to lock, because if they don't, they will slide out on you, which I had the problem starting out. Okay, this was I hadn't done it before, and it took me about a pack or so getting them down and learning the ropes. Now, you're going to have a tool that you use to hammer them together. Well, when you hammer, either side has its own. This side here has a slide in, as you can see too. So if you use that tool on that, you're going to crush it, and then it's not going to work. So a smart way to do is get a piece and use it as you're pounding to put them together. Okay, you get a block, and then you get a hook, which you'll see in the other video. So that's one of my learning curves there. Also, in the end, when you get it all done, you're going to see that you've got these areas that come together, and you're going to, depending on the type of flooring you get, you're going to wind up with imperfections. And as they pull together, the ends usually wind up being pretty tight. When you're pulling them together sideways, they may not mate. Also, you got to make sure that you're going to be square throughout your entire living space when you're doing it, because if you don't, you're going to wind up ending your area. You wind up being off depending on which way you put your floor. All right. I only wound up being a 1/2 inch, so I could not complain on that. And being inexperienced is doing this, it came out rather well. When you get done, I had to work around everything in here too, everything that I couldn't actually move. So when you get done, some of my advice is get some felt pads and put them under the legs, and you'll be able to slide them around. Also get a very good cleaner for the floor, and get something like Mop and Glow once you've got the floor done. So you're also going to have to do you're going to have to cut on a table saw to get those right, as well as I had vents in the back that had to be cut out as well, so you're going to have to use a jigsaw to do that. And then the final evolution is getting we had to pull the trim, of course, to do that, and you'll see that in the other videos. And your final step is going to be putting your thresholds back, and another one here, and then put those back the way they should. And then I had this one here. I had to get some trim and trim it down and get it so it would match. And then I got some stain, and it matches up pretty good. So anyway, that's kind of my learning curve on that. When you're cutting, make sure you wear a face mask and glasses, and definitely use the regular safety precautions when you're using a table saw. And anyway, this is going to be the first video, being the end video. So any comments, any questions, please don't hesitate to leave some comments. So join me. This week I was in the house working on the house. The next video you'll see me back out on the cars again. So anyway, it was an experience. I learned some things, and again, depending on the cost of the floating floor veneer that you use, is going to be depending on how easy it's going to be for you. So you're going to have different sizes per square foot within those boxes. So anyway, I'll let you go, and we'll see you on the next video.